lot of places. He's now down to P11 behind Kajoni, so we've missed even more drama here on the racetrack as Bielskos runs side by side with Jofert into one of the faster corners of the Poznan circuit. Bielskos.
With Kashoni, not with Jofert.
Yep, Kashoni.
As Bielskos still to the outside, I think he's gonna lose this one. Unless he can get a fantastic run out, but doesn't look like it. Another position lost, and was looking good for a top 5 at one point. Now out of the top 10. Pressure from behind from Raisin as well.
As the gap between Edvin Žadeikis and Ostlund is a little bit bigger. And we will be tight with one extra lap. That's going to be very tight by the start and finish line as Tadas Juknevičius started.
Tadas Juknevičius will have some time, definitely. He'll have about 10 seconds extra at least. Remember, he's quite far up the road as well from these guys. He's about 6 seconds ahead, more than 6 seconds ahead in the lead as Narbutas. That's a battle between him and Talianos, as Talianos loses a top 5 spot as well.
No, that's actually Talianos trying to get back into P5. He lost those places earlier, but now he's all over the back of Narbutas. He'll have 1.5 laps to do that. He has the pace here. He was 3/10 faster than Narbutas on the previous lap. Meškelis is right behind these two battling drivers. He wants a piece of the cake for himself. He just needs to sit tight here and wait out to maybe get his opportunity. Talianos made a very brave move around the outside. He felt that he has the pace advantage and he gave it a go. It didn't work out. Still very close to Narbutas. As Grantas Kareckas, again, he performs whenever he needs and running fourth in this race with the heaviest car. I'd say this is definitely a championship performance, and he'll collect as many points as he needs. Only 2 places behind Edvin Žadeikis, so not a big loss of points here in the championship battle. The second race, that's where things gonna matter the most. Narbutas goes super defensive till the very inside of the straight as we started the final lap of this race. Talianos loses the back end of his car. That's not gonna help him battle in this fight for P5. I think Narbutas is gonna be safe here unless he makes a mistake, but Talianos slides a little bit too much here on his rear tires, says Meškelis. No, that's actually Jofert being chased down by Svetins. Remember, Jofert is currently 3rd in the championship standing, so losing a lot of points here. Also, Kajoni 4th in the championship standing. He's running 10th now in this penultimate round of the championship. Jofert goes defensive. Svetins tried to find a better exit here out of the very slow corner. Not quite there. As Jofert continues to lead this race, to lead Svetins in the battle for P8. And dominant performance for Tadas Juknevičius. Wonder what he'll be able to do in the second race.
Yep, has dominated this one. 7 seconds up at the front. Tadas Juknevičius takes, I would say, the most dominant victory here of this season. Žadeikis is going to hold on just about to P2. And Grantas Kareckas in P4, 1 place up. That's a good result for him tonight. Then comes Narbutas, Talianos, Meškelis, Jofert, Svetins, Kashoni. Your top 10 in race 1. And race 2, Kashoni will be on provision. Well, it will be on pole position. So race 1, a very, very dominant performance by Tadas Juknevičius. We'll see what he can do in race 2. Can he actually do the double? Nobody's been able to do the double, I believe, this season. Or did Grantas Kareckas do it in round 1? Let me check.
Yeah, we should check the results, but I think no.
Nobody's done a double. Kareckas finished 2nd in race 2. during round one. So it could be a first double of the season if he keeps this pace up. Tadas Juknevičius wins ahead of Žadeikis, Oslun, Kareckas, Narbutas, Talianas, Miškelis, Jofert, Svetins, Kashoni, top 10. Then comes Bielskus, Raisin, Dimskis, Nikanen, Uludaita, Butvila, Jansons, Jasulevičius, Biel, Slisans, Sobek, Urbanas, Kovalevskis, and Marchak. Those are the 24 drivers who finished this race. Everybody took the flag and nobody even got lapped. So a pretty nice result for this one. 7 seconds at the front of the field was Tadas Juknevičius. So huge, huge margin.
Gear up for the ride of your life. Shop now.
All my life been looking for it. I think I found something to help with easing the pain. This voice inside my head isn't dead. I think it's growing. Soon we will be one and the same. I've been going to the racetrack. Spent all my money on the dog in the bed. I put my heart into an 8-track. How about that? My life was perfect. Now it's starting to crack. Oh no.
Gear up for the ride of your life. Shop now.
All my life been looking for it. I think I found something to help with easing the pain. This voice inside my head isn't dead. I think it's growing. Soon we will be one and the same. I've been going to the racetrack. Spent all my money on the dog in the bed. I put my heart into an 8-track. How about that? My life was perfect. Now it's starting to crack. Oh no.
Welcome back to the E-BaTCC Championship on the World Sim Series platform. The sixth championship, the fourth round of it, second race. And that's gonna be a really tough one. Remember, whoever finished 10th is starting first in the second race, and this time the driver on pole position is Kazoni ahead of Svetins, Jofert and Miškelis. Kareckas finds himself 8th and Žadeikis so Kareckas 7th actually, Žadeikis 9th and Juknevičius is 10th. Still race control is being shown as the race leader, but that's gonna change soon.
So here we go for race number 2 here in round 4. As looks like Kashoni just about clears Svetins up in front and holds the lead down into turn 1. Big gaggle of cars. Juknevičius already up to P8. Kareckas stays in P7.
Edvin Žadeikis is down in P10. Yep, so it's still playing into the hands of Grantas Kareckas, the current championship leader, the driver who has the heaviest car in this round, as we get very tight into the second corner on the Tor Poznan circuit as Meškelis tries to fight Jofert. Jofert around the outside, still holding strong, and it looks like he's gonna hold to that position. Talianos comes behind Meškelis. Remember, Talianos was really fast in the first race. A little bit unlucky, and it looks like his attempts to overtake might cost him yet another position. Narbutas on the inside on this hairpin. Grantas Kareckas trying to go around the outside as one car gets pinned. I think that's Ostlund, and there's a big crash, and I think Edvin Žadeikis has been involved again in this crash. He's now down in P12, and having the need to defend of other drivers, I think that's gonna be a really difficult race for Edvin Žadeikis. Now, you've seen how difficult it is to make an overtake stick here on this racetrack as Grantas Kareckas makes one stick, and Juknevičius just runs right behind him. Narbutas was very, very pleasant driver to Grantas Kareckas here in this situation, but Grantas with a very nice move, taking the P6 and looking very promising for him right now, as behind him we have a very big gaggle of cars. Gytis Dimskis is leading the pack in P9. Butvila, Bielskus, Žadeikis, Nikanen and Ulvidaite are all drivers who are stuck now behind Gytis Dimskis. Gytis finished 14th in the first race. He's now running 9th, a very good start for him, as Bielskus tried to take the inside of the first corner on Butvila. Remember, Bielskus and Butvila 2 weeks ago, they had a little bit of a contact where Bielskus received a penalty later after the race has finished, and we might have similar situations here this afternoon, because race control is doing the job here as Butvila takes the inside. Yep.
A lot of action here. And a lot of cars still going side by side, kind of almost locked in together. Well, we saw in race 1, you can kind of sometimes do that around here. So doing well. And looking good to do it clean.
Oh, around the outside of Gytis Dimskis goes Edvin Žadeikis. No, that was Bielskus. Now on the inside on Gytis Dimskis. Dimskis breaks a little bit more into before that right-hander, and small contact between Dimskis and Bielskus. Bielskus goes right off the racetrack. Ostlund is right there to take that place from Bielskus, and yep, he did it. So not a very good round for Marius Bielskus, who was and is really strong in this championship. An opportunity to come back behind. Come back ahead of Ostlund. Ostlund lost quite a lot of places in that first lap incident. But it looks like the positions have been kind of handed out. Edvin Žadeikis is stuck behind Butvila now. Tadas Juknevičius still behind Narbutas, who's setting the fastest lap time so far. That's Talianos. He's trying to chase down Meškelis, and it's a really tight battle for the win, for the lead here in this race. Kajon is still leading, but Svetins is right on the tail. Jofert third, Meškelis fourth, and Talianos fifth. Grantas Kareckas not too far behind of these 5 cars. So Grantas Kareckas actually can still win this one.
Opportunities for everyone, really. And again, even Juknevičius, who was rapid race 1, struggling to make overtakes, clearly. And it looks like it has been a theme for the whole of this season. Not easy to make moves in this car. The slipstream not working too well. It's like you struggle to outbrake anyone. It has been drivers going side by side through the left here. It becomes the inside for the right. Side by side, bumping and banging wheels and banging doors in these cars as they come to the left, and the compression just about stays in front. Does Svetins behind. Kashoni kind of holding this whole pack up. Wouldn't say holding it up, but not really running away from it like Juknevičius did, which kind of makes sense as well. I mean, surely is a pace difference. So Talianos ahead of Karatskas, then somebody running wide will be a chance for somebody there as well.
Miškelis, I think that was Miškelis clipping the grass on the outside. No, actually, he's on a move on Joffre, so that has to be Joffre who put that wheel on the grass, and Miškelis looks like he took the third position now, as Talianos will try and fit his car into P4. Grantas Karetskas still right there. Narbutas approaching together with Juknevičius, and remember what pace advantage Juknevičius had in the first race. It looks like he doesn't have it here anymore, as Joffre and Talianos go side by side. Talianos tried a very late brake maneuver into the left-hander, and it looks like it has worked out here. Grantas Karetskas still patiently waiting, and maybe a chance will open up for him now on Joffre, and he's trying to go to the inside of the corner. There's no place for Joffre because he's being blocked by Talianos, and look, Karetskas now a real chance to go up into P5 here. Joffre just slots right in front of him, and this tight battle slows these drivers quite a lot. Juknevičius patiently waiting. Edvin Žadeikis is too far behind. He's 3 seconds behind now, behind Grantas Karetskas now, so still 13 minutes on the clock, but that's gonna be too much for him to try and eliminate. Lost too much in the opening laps. Who goes wide? I think that was Narbutas who went wide, goes sideways, and Juknevičius still stays behind. Maybe this is the help of Juknevičius. He's not overtaking the cars in front to not slow them down too much and try to hold off Edvin Žadeikis for as long as possible. Well, the most important part for Grantas Karetskas in this race is just to finish in front of Edvin Žadeikis to collect more points. He doesn't need to win here. He just needs to be very, very clever. As Talianos goes off the racetrack, through goes Grantas Karetskas and Narbutas. What about Tadas Juknevičius sliding around the corner? What an unfortunate race for Talianos here this afternoon. He was really strong in both of the races, but always making these small mistakes. A little bit unlucky. Here goes Tadas Juknevičius to the inside. Talianos holding off on the outside. The move is not completed. And he slots still behind. Karetskas now right behind Joffre. Joffre suffering a little bit here in the second race. Lost a couple of places already. Now being under pressure by the championship leader. And all the drivers behind runs a little bit wide. Opens up the door for Grantas Karetskas.
He's going to be on the outside, then the inside. He tried this move before. And, well, actually backs out of it this time. Not enough overspeed there. Looked closer previously. Interesting.
Yep, fastest lap time still by Talianos in this second race. 1 minute 47.271. So Edvin Žadeikis is almost matching the fastest lap time. He has fresh, clean track ahead of him and still 11 minutes on the clock. He's getting closer and closer with every lap because these drivers, they don't stop battling. But, well, it's one story to gain on the drivers ahead, but there's going to be a whole different story to try and overtake them, as Kajoni still leads this one safely. He came here in P4 in the overall standings, gonna collect very good amount of points here after the second race if he holds on to that lead. As Grantas Karetskas, no, that's actually Tadas Juknevičius on Talianos. A successful move. Decided to not wait out any longer, sitting behind Narbutas. As behind Talianos.
Yep. Talianos. Yep. I was thinking maybe Juknevičius wanting to hold up Žadeikis, but Žadeikis not closing in on them, so I guess he can start moving forward. Would have made sense in terms of positions there. Karetskas still trying to pressure Joffre. They've actually lost Narbutas behind, as he's under pressure from Juknevičius, who goes side by side with him to the outside. Grantas, I think he's actually made the move this time. Juknevičius goes off wide and loses the position to Talianos. I don't think he's too worried about that. I think now the game will come into play. He's obviously not there for the championship, so I think he's just going to play the team game, hold up Žadeikis, and help his teammate, who's up into P4. And if he can hold this position, it will be P4 and P4 on a weekend with so much weight on his car. This would be a fantastic result.
Well, you wouldn't expect a mistake from Grantas Kareckas. I'm pretty sure he'll finish off this race not lower than P4. Still a little bit less than half of the race on the clock. Jofrid now right on the tail of Kareckas, but I think Kareckas gonna hold on to that position. We've seen already it's not too difficult to defend the position that you're running at. It's much more difficult to gain that spot. Look at Juknavicius. He had such an incredible pace in first race. He's now stuck in P8, and well, he was P7 once. Tried another overtake, went a little bit wide, and is back into P8 at this moment. Radek is still gaining, so he lost a lot of time in the first lap and still not able to gain on these drivers who are continuing their battle. Juknavicius, a very late move as the cameraman loses cars in focus. Juknavicius will hold the inside line. Talianos late on the brakes. Side by side, and there's gonna be the inside corner for Talianos. I think there was a small contact between Juknavicius and Talianos, not too much. Talianos didn't lose too much of the speed there in that corner. And runs a little bit wide, still not wide enough as Butvila is out of this race. We lost Dainius Butvila somehow in this battle. He was quite far ahead. Something happened to the driver here in this race. Juknavicius wide again, and that already puts Edvinas Radekis right on the tail of Tadas Juknavicius. And I think
he's suspiciously gone wide every time he's gotten ahead of Talianos. Every time he's gotten ahead, he's run wide and made a mistake. So I think he's trying to hold. It's strange though that he's trying to hold Talianos up, as if he does make a mistake somewhere and lets Radekis through, then it's an issue, as Talianos can then be picked off by Radekis as well, who's got Sport Plus enabled, engine and chassis. Oh, he's full power. He's got full power on board his BMW.
Yeah, that's. I think it's gonna be really difficult for Edvinas Radekis to maybe even try for that move. Of course, he's on fire now. He kept chasing the cars in front. He's now almost on the back end of these cars. Was 4/10 faster than Juknavicius on the previous lap.
Inside contact. Yep, pushes Talianos out the way. Well, side-by-side contact, but still pushed him out the way.
Radekis.
Radekis wants to get forward. He knows he needs to get forward in terms of the championship. 6.5 minutes to go in this one, not over just yet. Kareckas didn't break off this pack too much. Trying once again is Edvinas Radekis. Can't do it. At least not yet.
Oh, it's going to be really difficult for Edvinas Radekis, though. Look, both of the drivers now lost plenty of ground to Juknavicius, and that's how much it costs to be racy in this championship. The cars are very equal on power, and as soon as you compromise the ideal lines by either defending or attacking your opponent, you lose very big amount of precious time. Edvinas Radekis locks up a little bit and goes a little bit too deep into that corner. Still managed to get a good exit, but lost a little bit of ground in this battle. I think he's looking to gain at least one position here in this race, so looking to finish off in P8, and that's not gonna be the result. Edvinas Radekis came after when this race started. A very unlucky first lap, and that's more than you need to don't have a decent result. Narbutas still holding on to P6. Jofrid doesn't find the rhythm to try and chase down Grantas Kareckas, so Grantas doing a phenomenal job here with the heavy car. Running P4 with no problems. No wonder he is currently in the lead in the championship, and by the looks of it, he will continue to lead this championship after we will finish this one off. Plenty of contacts in the second race, so a lot of work will be handed over to race control. We have a couple of penalties already in the first race. a couple of penalties in the second one. Just gonna look through if there's some important penalties for the drivers up in front. Looks like no one has been penalized yet from the drivers who are battling here for the top 10 places. Now a lot of incidents have came through onto the sheet for the referee to make his job here, as Juknevičius runs safely behind Narbutas, and it doesn't look like Juknevičius would feel the need to overtake Narbutas here. Narbutas is participating in every championship round here, and he needs those points definitely, as Edvinas Žadeikis. He gained on Talianos, but there's nothing more he can do here. The top 3 drivers are not too far into the distance from the other drivers. Only 1.5 seconds separate Miškelis and Kareckas in the battle for P3, as Juknevičius now comes a little bit closer to Narbutas, and now really on the tail. Narbutas struggling a little bit with that intense overtake attempts from Tadas Juknevičius. Around the outside, it can work here on this corner, and I think that's going to be really close. So Juknevičius puts 2 wheels on the gravel, still holds on to that position. A slightly bigger contact between Narbutas and Juknevičius, but not too big of a contact, as Juknevičius clips the curb and sends the car jumping into the air on 2 wheels. Continues his race here as the time goes out. Joford still sliding around the track a little bit, losing time. And Miškelis is not able to gain on Svetins.
Yep, not able to gain. Ikas still 9th, Kareckas still 4th. So this is a pretty big gap between them. It will be a big points gap as well as they come to the end of the event. So doing good is Grantas Kareckas, holding that championship lead as they'll come into that final event. 2 more minutes to go in this one. Should be 2 more laps at the end of this one. Looking at where the leader is, yep, you'll take the line, and 2 more at the end. Well, now it will be 1 more at the end of this one. So going into the final 2 laps, Miškelis still in P3. Good performance from him, and still might have a small chance at Svetins up in front.
Yeah, remember, Grantas Kareckas currently sitting 4th. If Miškelis decides to take some sort of action, there might be a possibilities opening up for Grantas Kareckas. Remember, in Estonia, we had plenty of action on the final laps, where the drivers simply lost their heads and started battling each other. Edvinas Žadeikis lost quite a lot of time to Talianos, and Talianos found himself closer to Juknevičius, so there might be some position changes here in the battle for P6, as Joford is struggling here on this racetrack, running very wide lines and sliding all around. That is also quite threatening here for P5. Quite a lot of cars can still gain some important places, even though we are almost running out of time. And there's going to be 1 more final lap here, as Kashoni will cross the line and earn himself a decent amount of points. Joford goes off the racetrack. Narbutas goes around the outside, cutting the track. He might receive a slowdown penalty for him for such a cut, but he had nowhere to go. He just saw the chance and tried to take it. Talianos, Juknevičius and Narbutas now 3 wide into the final corner. And Talianos going to hold the inside line, but that's...
Oh, wow, still to the outside. It almost looks like it's oval racing sometimes, the way these guys are able to hold the outside line and take speed, as we take ourselves into the final lap of this one. As they're still battling, still side by side. Žadeikis, well, he hopes that there is some fireworks up in front. That's what he wants for sure. as a little bit of contact in front. He needs to be careful as well, not get into too many fights to the
Wow.
inside of Narbutas. He goes
Wow.
wide, goes Italianos.
This was definitely a late move, but he was well within control of the car.
Yep, did a very, very good job. Played it smart as well. So gains a position by being smart. That is great from him.
Yeah, but
And he's still got an opportunity at Italianos ahead. If he can get up into P7, that would be a pretty important spot in terms of championship points to still keep his hopes alive for one more round here, as this is Adam Kashoni. And, well, if Yuknavich just dominated race 1, it's not as big of a domination, but it is a very, very fantastic result by
Kajoni, yep,
by Adam Kashoni, yep.
finished
As he
10th.
comes round the final turn from 10th last time to 1st this time. It's a race to win for Adam Kashoni here in Poznan, as we only have now 2 rounds to go in this season. Svetins, Meškelis, Karatskas, Jofert, Yuknavicius, Talianos, Žadeikis in 8th, Narbutas, and then Ostlund only down in 10th, and no more real battles throughout the field. It's actually been a pretty clean weekend, especially by BMW Cup standards.
Yep, definitely it was a clean event, but still not too clean. The second race has seen plenty of action and a lot of incidents, so there were not that many incidents in the first race, but the second race definitely has seen drivers willing to finish a little bit higher than they were at that certain time, as most of the drivers now reach the final part of this event to take the checkered flag and finish off this second race. So great performance by all the drivers. I think we can easily congratulate Grantas Kareckas with a very nice finish of one very difficult weekend, as we go through the final but not official finishing positions of the second race. You can see on your screens.
Adam Kashoni takes the win ahead of Svetins, Meškelis, Karatskas, Jofert, Yuknavicius, Talianos, Žadeikis, Narbutas, Ostlund top 10. Then it's Nikanen, Kovalevskis, Reizin, Urbanas, Dimskis, Biel, Sobek, Janssons, Ulvedaite, Jasulevicius, Lissans, Bielskus, Marchak, and Butvila in last position. So that is your round 4 order, and the results will be tallied up. You can have a look at them on worldsimseries.com, and if you want to join the final round as well, worldsimseries.com. 2 weeks' time, we head to Finland and the Botnia Ring for the final event of this season of the E-BaTCC BMW Turbo Cup on World Sim Series. Thank you and good night.
Gear up for the ride of your life.
All
Shop.
my life been looking for it. I think I found something to help with easing the pain. This voice inside my head isn't dead. I think it's growing. Soon we will be one and the same. I've been going to the race.